My name is Savitri Kesaria, and today I'll take the topic Lewis theory of unlimited supply of labor. Now, this model was given by Professor Arthur Lewis, a Nobel Prize winner or Nobel laureate, Arthur Lewis, in 1954. He took efforts to explain how labor will be used or unlimited supply of labor will be used as an engine for development of underdeveloped and highly populated country. So we can say like India or China or Pakistan, whichever country is highly populated, this model can be relevant in that context of economics. So basically when he started explaining his model in 1954, he assumed it as a dual sector model, or he put it forward as a dual sector economy model, where there are two sectors existent in economy as defined by him. One is subsistence sector, or we can also say agriculture sector or traditional sector, and the other one is capitalist. Now this sector can be defined is the sector which is using reproducible capital. Reproducible capital stands for the capital which is used for production of more wealth like money, machinery or anything. So this sector is making use of reproducible capital. This sector, subsistence sector, as he assumed that this sector is having abundant supply of labor, very much supply of labor, but here they are not making use of reproducible capital. So basically this sector is a kind of, he assumed that it is illiterate or unskilled, and the labor supply is very high, and due to which in some of the labor case that MPL is zero. MPL stands for zero, means even from this sector, if some of the laborers or people who are employed there will be removed, the output will not suffer. Means apparently they are on the employment, but they are not contributing much to the output. Like for example, a family is going to a farm for working on the farm, but that full family members or whatever 4 or 5 members are not required totally on that farm. Even 2, 3 will go and that work will be done. So the surplus people, those who are there but not contributing much to the employment or to the output, that people are having MPL as zero, marginal productivity as zero. And as you know, in economics, wage rate is decided by the marginal productivity or contribution made by the laborers or contribution made by the workers. On that basis only the wages are determined. But here in case of subsistence sector, since some of the factors are having marginal productivity is zero, मतलब they are not contributing. जैसे ऑफिस में 4 लोगों की ज़रूरत नहीं है, लेकिन वहाँ पे 4 लोग काम कर रहे हैं, बस वो अरेंजमेंट इस तरह का है कि 4 लोग काम कर रहे हैं, वहाँ से 1-2 लोग निकल जाए तो भी काम होगा, उतना ही काम होगा. So in that case, that marginal productivity of that people are zero. So he explained that due to the abundant supply and due to the lesser employment opportunity available, marginal productivity of labor is zero, and here the wage rate is determined not on the basis of marginal product, and the output which whatever is produced by the this sector, subsistence sector or agriculture sector, is shared by all. So basically real wage rate is determined on the basis of average product and not the marginal product. He assumed that here the workers are not much literate, not much skilled, so they are going on the farm and working, and whatever members are there, they all are contributing, but basically they are not contributing since their productivity is doing nothing to the output. So that was identified as a subsistence sector, which is not making again the use of modern technology or not making the use of reproducible capital as termed by Lewis, Professor Lewis. Okay, now come to this sector. Capitalist sector vis-a-vis this sector is having labor and capital both. They are making productive use of reproducible capital. They are using technology or which can be identified as the industrial sector also. Same thing happens here. industrial sector, they make use of labor as well as reproducible capital, and here the wage rate is solely determined on the basis of marginal productivity of worker or labor. So here this sector is more advanced as compared to subsistence sector. The laborer are skilled and they are getting payment according to their contribution and not on the average basis. So that was two sector given by Lewis. He went, so these two sector, he just explained that, see how traditional or how laborers from traditional sector or agriculture sector can be absorbed by industrial sector and country can develop. So that was put forward by him. For example, here the marginal product and wages are measured. Here the labor supply, or can say quantity of labor and output. So first he assumed that here OW rate, wage rate in modern sector of course, or we can say capital sector. OW is a wage rate prevailing now. See this OW and OA is a wage rate prevailing in subsistence sector, traditional sector, and OW is a wage rate prevailing in capitalistic or industrial sector. So definitely here the wages OW is greater than OA, which is existing in traditional sector. So laborers are offered more. So he assumed that labor supply is perfectly elastic, which is represented by the curve WL, which is represented by the this horizontal line or horizontal curve WL, which says that labor supply is perfectly elastic. Means at this rate, since this rate is more than the traditional or agriculture sector ka wage rate, OW is more than the agriculture ka OA wage rate, any number of or maximum number of laborers can be migrated from the traditional sector to the industrial sector. Why they can migrate? Because they are so in search of job, or they are not having any productivity over there, so they are ready to migrate from one sector to other if little more what they are earning. This is OA represent traditional sector wage rate and OW modern ka wage rate, industrial ka wage rate. If they are offered little more, they are ready to travel or they are ready to migrate. So on that assumption, he assumed that, for example, this is the demand for labor at K1 stock of capital. So at this K1 stock, OL1 laborers are used. K1 we have not taken on this, so this is just represented by the curve. At K1 stock of capital and L1 stock of labor or L1 quantity of laborer, he can produce, that industrial sector can produce, for example, we will give here A. WAL1O kind of output. This full output will be produced by the industrial sector, and out of this OW will be taken as wages to the laborer, will be paid to wages as a labor. So laborer को wages चला जाएगा, तो this portion whatever is left out of output, that will be the surplus or profit earned by the industrial sector. See, OA, here we will give name, OAEL1 is the total output produced with the help of OL1 and K1 stock of capital, and out of this much, this square, this rectangular portion is the wages in the form of wages, output in the form of wages which will be earned by the laborer. So that will go to laborers. But this extra part, this AWE, is a surplus made by the industrial sector, right? So this surplus, since they are making the use of reproducible capital, will be reinvested by them, and again because the capital is increased due to the reinvestment of profit, this surplus will be reinvestment, and because the surplus is reinvested, the capital stock will increase. The capital stock will increase from K1 to K2, and this capital stock will increase. And because the capital stock, if for example machines are increased, factories are increased, or for any reason, there will be more demand for labor. Definitely, when capital increases, the marginal productivity of labor also increases and demand for labor also increases. So we will have new curve, that is D2 K2, and new employment, that is L2. So whatever surplus labor was there in traditional sector will move here again at OW, and again they will have the more demand from L1 to L2, and this again will go as a surplus to the industrial sector. And since industrial sector is making the reinvestment and not only spending on the conspicuous consumption, and they are making reinvestment, again that profit will be reinvested, again the capital stock will increase from K to K3, and again demand will increase from L1 to L2 to L3, and again new curve will be derived here. New employment, new stock of capital, and new demand. So at the existing wage rate, OW pay, on the same wage rate, they can employ so much, OL1 say OL2, OL2 say OL3. So employment increases, output it increases, profit is increases, and when employment and output both are increasing due to this expansion process of industrial sector, definitely country is going to develop. So this was put forward by the Lewis, that the surplus labor which was available in traditional or subsistence sector, whose marginal productivity is zero, is ready to move to industrial sector. Even little higher wages are offered, that is OW. And this process of expansion of output and employment will continue till the whatever surplus labor is there in traditional sector will be fully absorbed by the industrial sector. So, and that will lead to the country's development. This was explained by Lewis. Hopefully, this is understood by you all. Thank you.